Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dennis and the Doc and Eagle One. We're going to do our preseason podcast for the 2025-2026 NCAA Big East Creighton basketball season. It might end up getting broken up into a couple of parts because we're going to go through all of those topics. We're going to do a Jays preview, we're going to do a little Big East preview, and a little national preview too, just to get everybody ready for the season because it is next week. We are 9 days away from Jay's tip off and 7 days away from the start of the actual season. So, guys, welcome back. How are we feeling going into this year?
I feel great. We had a teams draft just now, and I feel like I crushed it. I'm starting to. I always take a break after the off season because I go so hard in season, but now I'm getting back and I'm getting excited. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, like Dennis said, I got my first taste of basketball this past weekend, and I am fiending for more already, so I'm excited to get into it.
Am I correct in saying it feels like there was a bigger lull this year than usual? Was it possibly just because two of us had baseball teams in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Like I mean, over the summer I was just so into the Brewers. Like that was every thought that really occupied my mind. So yeah, I mean, even college football for a different reason, but like it's the least I've been into a college football season. I think we're just gonna kind of just skipping college football this year, just going baseball straight into hoops, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's the sense that I've gotten from both of you guys. I'm always until baseball's over, that's always my main thing here, but it certainly has seemed like the focus on the preseason stuff here hasn't been as much as it has in the past.
No, and I too, like my season always feels like the last 2 years feels like it extends a couple of months because I go so hard into the portal. So once that's over, I really like disconnect for a couple of months. And yeah, now the last week or so with the exhibitions feels like we're getting back into it. Spent a couple hours on Torvik and Ken Palm during each work day for the past week or so. So yeah, we're back. All right, so we'll start with the Jays this season. That's what most of our listeners, most of our couple
Three of the
dozen
four.
listeners, yeah, probably want to hear about. So we'll start with the roster, and then we'll talk schedule. But I'll give each of you guys the chance to start us off with like one big thing you're looking at with this year's roster. So Mr. Dennis, you can go first.
Will this team have a top 75 defense? Because
75. Okay.
what are they preseason? Like 40?
Uh, it's
Oh,
Ken Palm has them
hmm.
41 with the 22nd offense and the 65th
Yeah,
defense.
fucking under. Under
Bard
on
is
41.
12 and 38 for offense
Right,
defense.
Bart. Yeah,
Under
it's
on 41.
yeah,
Or over, whatever. Higher number. Big
Worse,
larger
yeah.
number.
worse on 41 overall.
Oh, no, on defense.
Defense,
Yeah,
right?
no, no,
Yeah.
no. 65th defense, 38th on Torvik.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're 38th in defense or 38th overall on
No, no, no. All
Torvik?
right, hold on. Torvik has us
Yeah.
28th overall or 23rd
Okay.
overall,
Yeah.
38th in defense. Ken Palm has us
Okay.
41st overall, 65th in defense.
I think we'll be much closer to 65th.
Yeah, yeah. I think
And I
that's
would still probably take the larger number
you're thinking
than 60.
over 65.
Yeah, I don't think this team is good defensively at all.
I mean, I don't either, but we've had some bad Creighton defensive teams and they've finished above 60.
Right.
Because like that's the one thing that's giving me like some recourse for maybe this team will have a reasonably high ceiling is like the 2019 2020 teams weren't good, but even still the year before we had Kalkbrenner, I think we were 51st in defense or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I won't speak to the 19 team because I didn't care, um, or I did very little. But like the 20 team, I feel like you still had like a switchable personnel in addition to like a real plus defender in DJ. Whereas I don't know. I think calling Jason Green a plus defender, like maybe that's true, but I don't know if he's going to play enough for like that to truly be something that you're judging the team on. I don't think Dix is a good defender. Everything I've heard on Blake Harper is that he is horrible defensively, like to the point where like there's a world where he just can't play this year because he's so bad defensively. Um, I don't think Freeman's a good defender. I know the blocks. I know he is in a bad defensive system. Prove it to me. I don't think Dix is a good defender. He's 6'2" and white in a bad defensive system.
He's
So I don't
six
know.
four. Give him some
He's
credit.
listed at
Whatever.
six
Close enough.
six, but
Six
Yeah.
six, whatever.
yeah,
So, um, same thing for the purposes of that point. Um, I don't know. I don't like the defensive personnel.
No, I don't think anyone can. It's
yeah,
really just a question of if they play a system that allows them to be greater than the sum of their parts. And earlier in the offseason, I would have felt a lot better about the chances of getting there. But when you spend, because I mean, all of our transfers were in by the, third, fourth week of the portal. So it felt like you were done pretty early into the summer. And then yet you still somehow didn't have them all there to get acquainted, right? You got the European guys who couldn't get in. Zugic didn't think he was getting cleared. Freeman hurt. There were other like things with guys not being able to practice. So really, we've had hardly any time at all to put a system in. Good air there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's not as simple as like Freeman, like, oh, like you sound
yeah.
like
Well,
a Butler fan if you're like, oh, like Freeman's also 7 foot, so we just run drop and we'll be fine. Not really how it works. And you had like I'm sure the system is like it's not cut paste from the last 3 years. Like I'm sure they're gonna be drop, but every time you are so extreme in that you do not force turnovers and you do not like send teams to the line, which I know like that second one's a positive, but the the turnovers, for example, like that is such or and you were elite in 2 point defense. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Or rim rate. Like if you just become very good at that and you don't make gains elsewhere, like it gets scary very fast. And that's
Yeah.
what I think. What
yeah,
happens if you like we were what, like number one in non-foul rate? Like, what if you
by like a
dropped
lot,
one,
right? Yeah,
like all like now if you're 20th, like and you don't force any turnovers and you are, 50th in 2 point percentage rate, like now it gets a lot worse.
Oh, yeah. So and the point is well taken too, because especially I think there are concerns now about how much we're going to foul. We're going to have a tougher time keeping guys in front of us. If we go back to hard hedge, that's going to be more fouls if we mix that in a little bit. So yeah, if all of a sudden your whole system is built on not giving guys free points and now you're giving guys free points at the rim and at the line, you got to either make that up somewhere else because we're not going to do it in turnovers. This team is not going to turn anybody over. Just the
no,
way it's, even if you try to play that way, the way it's constructed, it ain't happening. So the thing you would really have to lock in on then I guess is limiting 3-point shooting, but a team that's going to get offensive rebound as much as we are is going to have a tough time doing that too.
yeah. And I don't think I have anything else to add about defense. I think that's been our concern for. I think that's our concern the last time we talked in whenever that was, June.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, so Eagle one if you have a big thought going into this season.
Yeah, I mean, defense was obviously the first thing on my mind, but I think the other big thing on my mind is what our rotation is going to look like. We've heard that we have depth for 8 seasons in a row now, or whatever it's been, and this looks like the first time that we might actually. But how long does that last, and how soon do we start playing 8 guys when we roll into conference play? And who are those, 7, 8, 9 guys that actually end up getting a fair chunk of minutes? Because, I watched 1.5 games of this team so far, and I still don't really know what that looks like.
It wouldn't be the first time we've been fooled, and it wouldn't be the first time we've been fooled after a game or two, also. I mean,
Right.
I remember I sitting with you, I think 2 years ago, watching, or was it 2 years ago or even last year, watching Trout as a freshman. We're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna play big minutes this year. We're gonna have like a 10-man rotation, like
Yeah.
everybody's playing well. Look at this, we're tearing the cover off of some team. Yeah, 2 weeks later, that wasn't happening. So
No, yeah, I mean, I remember 2 years ago, Dennis and I sitting at one of the exhibition games talking about how we were just going to blow people out in garbage time because we didn't have any bad players on the team. And
Every
boy, was
player we were
that.
talking about fucking sucked. To be fair, we did blow people out. By game Creighton was a fucking wagon.
yeah,
But God, were those people bad.
Yeah.
by game Creighton is like a you take out the Baby Jays season where we just inexplicably played everyone close for an entire season until one seed Providence in the Big East tournament. But like Mac is such a buy game coach, and it's one of those things where it's gone to such a point where it can't be random chance anymore. I'm gonna knock on every piece of wood I can find when I say this, but we haven't lost a buy game since he's been here as a coach. Like not even take set aside Nebraska and Georgetown, we haven't lost anything resembling a buy game since he's been here.
Yeah.
They were very like they were a solid team when we lost to them, but ironically, we did lose to Georgia Washington, if I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, that was like 2012 or 2013, but yeah, that was
I will
and
say, like as a from an against the spread standpoint, I think it'll be interesting to see like to what degree that continues. 'Cause I do think a lot of it was like Kalkbrenner, like that was Kalkbrenner at slash like we just had a team that was built to get up and down and throttle bad teams. Um, so I don't know. I would very much be wait and see if I'm betting Creighton this year.
yeah, the rotation. I mean, we could speculate on the rotation all we want, and I'm sure we'll do some of that, but
Yeah.
uh, Mac said it as often as he possibly could that when we get around to March, like he wants to be closer to the Auburn blueprint than what we've been running with basically five and a half guys come tournament time. I mean, I'll just pose the question as simply as possible. Do you believe that will actually happen this year?
That we're gonna be five deep come tournament or
No, that we
five.
will be closer to 10 deep than five deep.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
no, and it's just because I'm not going to get burned that way again. I think we will have more of a bench in years past simply because it's not normal for 7-footers to play the amount of time and minutes that Kalkbrenner did, especially without fouling. And that's a spot right there, especially when he's already hurt. And I mean, frankly, I don't think that we're good enough at other positions to play five deep. Like part of the reason that we did is because the starting five were so clearly better than everyone else in the prime years, and I don't think anyone's that good on this team. Like maybe Dix, but I don't think it's as locked down of a starting five as years past.
Yeah, I agree that the gaps are definitely not what they were in previous years.
No, I mean, because the whole theory behind it in the past was that a very tired Baylor Shireman was still better than like anyone else we had on our back, like a fully rested
Yeah,
anyone else we had, right? So
right.
that is probably not the case this year, just because we're probably coming into the season with less star power than we've had since I came to Creighton. I don't think that's unfair to say.
No, I think that's probably pretty fair, depending on what you think of Dix and McAndrew. Or Dix, McAndrew, Freeman, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that to segue that into my big thing. That's my thing I'm looking at going into the season is the lack of definitive star power. Because like, granted, we might have only had one going into last season with Kalkbrenner, but it was such an extent that it kind of overtook everything else, right? Like Ashworth became the second guy, but if you kind of remember back the way he started 2 years ago, it wasn't great. Like there were points in December of that year where we were wondering if he was going to be on the bench. Um, it's not the team with Shireman, Kaluma, Alexander, Nemhart, right? It's not the team with
yeah,
Zagorowski. It's not the team with Tyshawn, right? It's not the team with Marcus Foster and Kyrie Thomas. these guys, there are a couple of guys that there are the candidates of guys that could get there, right? Like Dix and Freeman are your obvious candidates. McAndrew is a candidate for a sophomore year jump. Graves all of a sudden looks like he could be a relative, like near the top point guard in the conference. But you're going in with a whole lot of uncertainty and a whole lot of guys who like could hit their ceilings, could not. Like it is a world where if two or three of them click the way they could, you've got a heck of a team. But if they don't, and it's perfectly reasonable that none of them do, you could be in big trouble this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think with McAndrew specifically, it gets into the classic trap that I think everybody falls into of like sophomore who got better during the season clearly gets better in the next season. And like, yeah, sometimes like for every Ryan Kalkbrenner and Trey Alexander, like there's a Kaluma who like did not take the step that I think like I thought he was going to be the best player as a sophomore on that team.
Mhm.
Um, and it's not a trying to think of other recent examples, but like you don't just get to say, oh, because he's back and he's young, like he's going to be better. Like he could be, but like at the end of the day, there were many games in conference play where he was a zero, and like he is always going to be like he will never be a first team All-American just because there are limitations on things he cannot do because of his body. Like
Yeah.
he's never going to be a plus defender. Like he'll never be a 10 rebound a game guy. And like especially when you have that art, like he's going to shoot, he's going to be gifted offensively, but like there is a lot of shooting invariance. Like if his shooting dips to, 34% this year, doesn't have the gravity of Kalkbrenner for whatever reason, like that's also possible.
Yeah, well, it's possible too, and I think you're exactly correct. Like we're so accustomed to the second year jump under Mac, and it like I think it's not anecdotal to say it's been true more often than not. But like, yeah, the guy who I think is maybe the best comp for Jackson based on the season he had is maybe like Tyshawn or somebody like that who had a lot of minutes, knew he was a good shooter, but he didn't shoot a great percentage, and then just took that huge scoring jump the next year and became like one of your top guys pretty much right away. Also had a defensive ceiling, so it's not a great thing. But like then you remember too, what were we thinking about Mason Miller coming out of his freshman year too? Like that, I think everyone forgets how not that long ago he was looking like such a solid piece on a big time team with big time potential, and then just nothing. And I think we can agree the ceiling on McAndrew is higher and there are more things that he can do, but it wouldn't be that crazy if it ended up similar, would it?
Man.
Oh, that's a great pull. That's a great pull. I mean, even like, and this is maybe a more mod, like this is very much a like light example, but even like I think after like Jason Green in the Oregon game, like I think he clearly got better next year, but like I don't think he or last year, I guess, the next year. But like
Yeah.
I don't think that was like the 100th percentile of outcomes. Like
No, he scored 0 points for like 9 of the first 12 games we played.
yeah, like McAndrew could also just like there's a lot of gap between better than he was last year and all conference player.
And it wouldn't, well, the thing too is like I don't think people remember how rough some of those games were. There was the whole stretch in the heart of Big East play, like January to mid-February, where he didn't break double digits and he was shooting like 1 for 6s every night. And we survived a lot of it because you had a couple of guys that could force scoring on the team. Might not have that this year. And if he doesn't improve on that, that could be a really like I don't think people are remembering how low of a point he was at some point last year because his ceiling is high and because he finished the season well. And not that neither of those things matter, but I think we're guaranteeing this jump just a little too much as a fan base.
I've been saying it to even people that just more casually follow the team. Like, everybody has decided that this is just going to happen. I don't know that there's really besides the reasons we've already talked about, there's really a good reason. I know he looks like he's put on some weight, but as Dennis was saying, he's still not exactly built.
No, and his limitations aren't just physical either. Like he doesn't handle the ball. Like it's ridiculous to compare him to somebody like Cooper Flag, but from a physical standpoint, like they're the same height, right? Like roughly.
Yeah,
Well,
Cooper Flagg's shoulders are probably like 8 inches wider, but
well, yeah, but I mean, like he's not playing point. He's not
no,
the
he's
kind of guy who's going to ever thrive with the ball in his hands. Like even at his peak outcome, I don't think that's what's happening.
no, he's not a playmaker.
So again, you're asking him to develop mostly through shooting, and he's going to take enough shots where the volume should even out and he should shoot the percentage he truly shoots, right? But that's not always a guarantee. And, a rough start out of the gate could look like a pretty rough season.
Yeah, I'd agree with all that.
So we've got, we know to an extent what we're getting from the return because the Green point too was excellent. The fact that sure it seemed he was primed for a breakout again, and it just didn't really happen. He was clearly better, and he was clearly a more integral part of both the offense and the defense. The defense came earlier in the year. If you go back and watch those, like the Louisville game, the UConn game, and the Big East tournament, like he clearly has some offensive IQ too. He shows up in places when you want him to. He's around the basket. You've seen it in a couple of these exhibition games too. Like the head fakes. He has some sense around the rim now. He knows when to cut, when to pop into space. So I do like I really like him for this year too, but it's still going to be like as who he is, right? He's a glue guy. He's a both sides of the ball, but mostly defensive focused guy. And like you said, Mr. Dennis, he's probably not getting enough minutes to be like a stonewall defender the whole year. Like, yeah, obviously we saw he had really good flashes last year. He played pretty well against Broom in the tournament. Like he can do the things that he needs to do. But if he's on the floor the entire game, that's limiting your opportunities for upside on offense. And I don't know. I like him going into this year, but it's going to be a big question about how we're going to handle the wings this year. And I don't know what I'm interested in thoughts on how you think we're going to handle it. What's the optimum way to handle it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the ideal way it works out, maybe this goes back to your question from earlier, is I don't necessarily see us playing like 10 guys in a game, but I think that there are going to be, Jason Green games, Blake Harper games, um, Conan games potentially, although I think less than that. Like, I think game to game, they're going to vary a lot. Like, I don't know if you want my on or like my very little informed opinion. If I like with the personnel I have, I would just go all offense and I try to outscore teams.
Hmm.
Um, I just think and again, this is probably not going to go over super well. I'm such a non-believer in Freeman's defense. I'm not a huge believer in Dix's defense. Like Zugic was fine in very limited minutes, but he never was really guarding the best guys. Like I'm kind of the opinion of just play the five best offensive guys and try to outscore teams. And that's probably an unpopular opinion, but that's at least what I would start with.
So you're starting like saying starting is ridiculous. Your most minutes would be Graves, Dix, Harper, McAndrew, Freeman.
Graves, Dix, Harper, McAndrew, Freeman. Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Greer, depending on how he looks. But yeah, I'm going a lot of offense. And I'm gonna try to beat you 90 to 85.
Yeah, Max said something similar on a podcast not too long ago. Eagle one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'll be very curious to see. This is heavily influenced by Jason Green looking like a very competent offensive player in the exhibition last weekend, where I guess I haven't looked at the box score actually after the end of the game, but I think he led us in points, did he not?
I think he did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see it either, but
Um, and I mean a lot of that is, the head fakes, the little jump hooks from 7 feet away, all that kind of stuff. But he hit at least one corner three. If he can develop into a semi-competent shooter, I think you have to play him a decent amount. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with what Dennis is saying here. We just throw all the offense at him possible, but I don't anticipate that that's necessarily how this rolls.
It really
Um,
feels like a game theory thing to me where it's like, is there a place where there is a happy medium between trying to play enough defense to stay in games or truly trying to blow the doors off of teams?
right,
But yeah, like you said, I mean, he made 45 threes last year and shot 27%. Like
yeah,
if that's what it's going to be again this year, he better not take a three. But
right.
at the same time, if he can shoot 33%, then then we're talking about maybe a offensive threat that can score 9 or 10 points a game. Because if he does that for you, in theory, a lot of issues figure themselves out on this team.
Right,
Because
and I mean, I think if he does that, where does Trout fall in? Because Trout doesn't play defense.
yeah, unpopular opinion, maybe, hopefully the bench.
Yeah.
I feel like we keep trying to do this with him. And I probably, as much as anyone, really want it to work because when we were recruiting him, like I was so sure he was going to be the guy.
Be awesome. Yeah.
We just keep trying it and I just keep not seeing it. Like I feel like the same thing happened last year where everyone's like, oh, he's blowing the doors off of everybody in practice. And then we get to, another team and it just looks the same.
I mean, he just has to shoot like 45% from three to be a competent player at this point, no?
Well, and he kind of does too. Like I think his
Eh,
career shooting percentage is
Oh,
41% or something
yeah,
like
I know
that.
it's ridiculous, but
But yeah, at the same
What ended
time,
up
like
is on the 2026 North Dakota State Bison roster.
I just like there's a role for him and the kind of thing like hopefully this year you can really pick your matchups of when to deploy him, right? Like I know he's just not a five and forcing that hasn't worked any better than trying to force him to be a four. But in theory, in this Big East this year, there should be one or two matchups like Matthew Hodge at Villanova, where yeah, you can play against him and not give up too much, right? Like some of these big European guys at Xavier or something like that. Like, all right, we can get you in there and you're, a five out kind of guy. At least maybe we'll have the option to do that this year with the number of guys we can throw out there. But I just there's talk about like I think DeMarinis said he might be in the starting lineup game one. Like at one point he projected that. I'm like,
Oof.
if we're there,
Oof.
we're in a tough place.
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah,
I'm
like I
lowering my defense to 90th if you start on 30 minutes.
it's just like to some point, like practice results can only mean so much. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
I
I
would be
don't.
very, very worried if we're expecting him to be a top 6 or 7 contributor on this team.
I love watching the kids shoot the corner three, but doing anything else is, I don't know, not a lot of optimism left.
No. And I feel like that's different than what the trend is going, and that scares me a little bit.
Yeah. And
Um,
I forget where I saw it, somebody saying that he had lost some weight, something, and just anecdotally looking at him the other day, I did not notice. And I'm, up in the upper bowl, so I'm not close exactly, but I didn't notice a difference in his conditioning or athleticism or anything to suggest to me that he's made a big leap and is ready to ready to take a step defensively at all there.
no, and I because the thing about Max offenses too is the guys who get the open corner threes are the ones that sprint down the floor and get to the spot first. Like that's our whole thing is we run like the lanes when we're doing breakouts and stuff like that. That's why Mason his freshman year was so good at doing that because he was usually the first one down the floor and taking that spot in the corner. And that's not like a knock on him or anything. That's just not really his best role. And yeah, he's got a spot. Like his couple of games last year, like he looked fine. Like I think it was at Providence, he had a pretty good game because he got a matchup that he could play against. So like there's still a spot for him. But if it's as like the ninth or 10th guy on the roster, I'm gonna feel a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Sorry, I paused there while I was talking because I glanced over at our Torvik page and was trying to figure out who Liam Carney is because unless I've misunderstood our roster, I don't believe he's on our team, is he?
That's
It's
a high point. Yeah,
McChesney.
the high point.
Yeah,
He changed his last name.
no, Liam Carney plays for High Point.
He runs their
It's
Pharaoh's
the same
Revenge.
guy.
What?
Yeah, it's the
No,
same
no,
guy.
no. What?
Yeah,
William Carney just mans the Pharaoh's Revenge. Has two teeth.
I don't know what's happening.
Wait.
Carney.
Oh, all right, fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna call out our friend Mark French here, who tried to convince me that the coaches apparently said he's going to be an actual contributor on this team. Apparently, he had inside info that said the coaches were saying he was not just a charity case and was actually going to be brought in to contribute on this team. I'm going to call bullshit on that one, Mr. French. That even just his few minutes in the preseason was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, Bart Torvik doesn't even believe he's on the roster because while we've been sitting here, I did look, and Liam Carney is in fact a real player for High Point, who's listed as a 6'6" guard. So unless Liam McChesney has gained or grown 4 inches, changed his hometown from Minneapolis to Prince Rupert, Canada, and he's grown a lot of hair. I think these are two independent people, both named Liam. So
Both named Liam
yeah,
and both from High Point.
yeah. What are the chances? But yeah, no, I don't. There's no way that guy leaves the bench, right?
No, if he does, we're really in trouble.
Yeah.
Um, I want to talk a little Zugic. Um, because at what point, like, what the hell happened this year? Like, A, why is he not in a prominent position right now? B, why was he gone the whole off season again? C, who fucked up? Like, I kind of know the story now of like how his eligibility got so fucked up, and like, spoiler alert, agents ruining college sports because why not? But
Yeah.
I like, why has this been such a saga when everyone else is doing this so easily? And then like, why is he not ready to go again this year? Like, it feels like we're doing the same fucking thing again.
Right. I mean, I was, sitting up there watching the exhibition on Saturday, and the, middle-aged lady behind me was, didn't remember the kid's name, but was asking why he wasn't playing more.
And like,
Just
apparently
looking,
he's got like an ankle thing, I guess, going on. But like, everyone who's been to practice said he's like not ready to go yet. Like, he doesn't look
interesting.
comfortable yet.
Does he just like anti-condition when he's not in camp?
It's all these
Doesn't really
Eastern
get that.
Europeans.
Like he doesn't really get that fat, but like seems like he like works at getting out of shape because it took him like 2 months to ramp up last year.
Well, so apparently it's not just that; it's that he like still doesn't understand how the system works, apparently.
Oh,
But like, seriously, that was the part I got so frustrated with last year, is when he finally got cleared, they said, "Oh, he hasn't been practicing for weeks or months or whatever it was." Like, I'm sorry, why? Like, surely you knew this was coming. Did Shane Thomas really need those practice reps that badly?
Yeah.
he was on scholarship.
Yeah. Well, now you can put as many people as you want on scholarship now, can't you?
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. So it again feels like a guy who I thought was coming into this. He's another guy coming into this year where you're like, all right, his ceiling is. I thought it was, after last season, I'm like, all right, your ceiling is all conference for next year. Like, yeah, you could
Yeah.
wind up being a 12 to 14 point a game guy. And now I'm like, okay, maybe you'll give us some good minutes off the bench. Maybe Greer will pass you. I don't know. Either of those things could seem equally likely to me.
Yeah, no, 100% possible. I, hadn't engaged with all the off-season stuff as much as you have, but I certainly had the thought, all right, clean off season, ready to ramp up. Let's go, throw him in the starting lineup. But yeah, I mean, he's certainly not a contender for that at the moment.
He went home. Like,
Yeah.
he went home for like a month and nobody knew about it.
Ugh.
So I'm like, we're just doing this again where it's like, is he ready? Is he not? How good is he? We don't fucking know. We came in to like from last offseason thinking him, Green, and McAndrew are all ready to take like their jump the next year and all be like double digit scorers. And here we are again. We have no clue.
Yeah.
If you just never play basketball, you never have to actually get good at basketball.
And they're like, hey, we've got another year of him now, so maybe
Yeah.
next off season he's gonna
Be
like
right back here saying the same thing.
he's gonna roll his ankle on the last minute of the tournament game this year and just not have an off season again. Um, I guess that was a good segue though. Give me your impression. You at least have got to
How
see him
can
in
that be
person.
a good segue into what?
Somebody mentioned Greer, so I was gonna say, tell me what you saw from Greer Eagle One.
Yeah, I mean, he did a windmill in warm-ups, which, you don't expect to see that out of a lot of kids on our team.
Larry
That
Johnson.
was that was my first yeah, that was my first impression. He might come up later in the pod.
Oh, great! I know exactly what that means.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't let me look at the box score. He didn't get a ton of minutes. He made 1 3. Shot looked good. I don't have any other strong impressions. Looked a little nervous on the first take, but he'll settle in. You know, I'm excited. I don't have um, any more reason for optimism than I necessarily had coming into the season, but I'm optimistic that he'll carve out a role and potentially be pretty big contributor coming into Big East play.
Yeah, my theme I think with a couple of these guys is just like with the bloated roster we have, like, and I think that's fair to say compared to our
Yeah.
previous builds. Some of these guys who we would be so excited about in previous years, like I'm trying to think of like what we would be thinking if Hudson Greer was a Blue Jay in 2017, right? Like Mitch coming to Creighton was huge that year.
Oh,
And like everyone couldn't wait for him to finally crack the starting lineup, and he did. And it was like, oh, this is great. He's averaging like 9 points a game. This is, like we would be so excited about Hudson Greer
oh, absolutely.
and Nick Graves and Blake Harper, like these guys who were not even sure if they're going to have a spot on this team. Like Graves, Graves's Torvik sheet is like one of the greenest I've ever seen. Like probably behind only Ashworth for guys that I've seen coming in, and like he actually looks good so far too. And
Yeah.
and he was completely overlooked all off season. Like I remember like when we did we me and Mr. Dennis were talking Portal like way back in June, and on Twitter he was like he's like Graves looks like a really good pickup, and everyone's kind of like, are we sure? Like yeah, it looks like it should work, and lo and behold in practices and then in the games it's like yeah, he's actually good.
Lo and behold, Dennis knows what he's fucking talking about. Credit to
Uh,
me. The when the fan base is down as much as ours is, I'm glad I can be a little ray of sunshine, provide
Yeah. Well,
provide
we can
my
always count on you for.
spin that I've been accustomed to.
Yeah.
I mean like Harper
Um,
too. Like if there 2 years ago, like if we landed
oh,
Harper in the off season, holy shit, like we would have been talking about that all like comparing his numbers to what Shireman's were when we got him, they're not that different. And like, yeah, competition's different. He's a year younger. Like obviously there's differences there, but for how much we rightfully hyped up getting Shireman, like this was a coup. This is a big land. I think he's going to Duke next year. That's my pour water all over this bucket take, but like a big deal. And
yeah.
he might not start and might not play in the top 6 minutes on this team.
All right, Mr. Positivity's over. I don't think I'm a Harper guy.
Okay. I can. I'm not surprised by that.
I think he's going to be like almost unplayable because I don't think he can play defense.
But do you care about that? Didn't you just talk about we're only playing offense?
Yeah, and like there's a I don't know. I mean, there is an inflection point of like, okay, you have to at least like once in a while stop someone and like, yeah, in my hypothetical lineup, like I don't think that's what they're going to do. I'm saying like if I were coaching the team, that would be my first try. And then if something needs to change, like I'd get off that pretty quick. But I'm worried. I don't think he's going to be able to defend.
I don't know if anybody knows yet. I mean, like he played at Howard. Like if you nobody like I don't know if there was a world where he was gonna make any sort of note defensively there. Hasn't looked great through the first two scrimmages on that side, but like I don't know. I don't know if it's any worse than any of the other guys we've got, and that might be saying more about them than that. But he's going to guard wings. Like he'll be good and he'll be fine in some matchups, and some guys like he gets like I don't know if Bryce Hopkins is somehow healthy this year, which I highly doubt. Like yeah, he might eat him alive, but I don't know. I don't know how noticeably bad he's going to be.
I do think he brings something to the offense that, I mean, I guess with the exception of Graves, that, I mean, Harper shot 8 free throws on Saturday
Yeah,
in 16 minutes.
the two of them combined, I think, shot over what 500 free throws last year. Like
Yeah, I'd
I
believe
think
it.
easily over,
Yeah.
which is not something we've really ever done here. Because like that was going to be
No.
one of my questions too. Is like who is the go get one guy on this team? Before the scrimmages, I probably would have said Dix, but I think it's Graves now.
I would agree. But I mean, I think Harper at least has the experience of having that mentality, whether or not he gets to do it on this team. I think that's has some value.
I was gonna say Graves had a mega high usage, right? Like he was used on over a quarter of the Charlotte possessions last year.
And they very much like everything I watched and everything I read on him is like they very much built it that way too, because I guess they knew he was the kind of guy you try to give the keys over to. It just was to such an extent that they had nothing else, and their offense was just a like stagnant marsh of crap. But yeah, I mean Harper too. It'll probably be matchup dependent, I assume, because like Demery on Graves, all right, you're probably not going and getting one over him. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. All right,
Well,
so
one,
any no, go ahead.
no, nothing. Just one way to find out.
Yeah, I mean, other thing we could touch on maybe is I feel like we should mention Swartz and Conan because I feel like they're kind of the breakout stars of the exhibition games. Is it basically the question is it an aberration or not? Is there anything real to look into there?
Right. I mean, coming out of the exhibition game on Saturday, I mean, Conan he was the player I was most excited about just because he showed a couple defensive flashes that I don't think we're really going to see from anybody else on this team in terms of, both shot blocking and also just affecting shots and, making the hustle plays that we love Jason Green for. I think if he can do that for 10 minutes a game and we can have a backup center that's not a traffic cone like Fred King was last year, like that could be very valuable.
Last time I checked, the traffic cone doesn't try to hit you with both of his hands when they're going up for. There were
Yeah.
times there were times the
Uh,
traffic cone would have been preferable. Mr. Dennis, thoughts on Conan or Swartz?
Yeah, I just said I didn't watch either of them, but I'm gonna guess no.
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
that's fair.
I did think Swartz was better than I expected him to be because I did not anticipate anything from him, but he looked decent. I'm going to hate forever that his name isn't Schwartz,
Yeah.
that there's no CH in there.
So
It's
is
going to take
every
me.
TV announcer by early
Oh, it's
indications.
going to be terrible if he plays. We're
Yeah,
we're not going to get used to it while he's here.
yeah. Like watching back the Iowa State game, like yeah, he showed some flack. If he shoots 38+%, everyone's gonna love him, and if he doesn't, it's gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy doing taking shots in
Yeah.
these games? But yeah, it was like more talent there than people assume. Like was a highly rated recruit and coming out of that Miami program last year. Yeah, like you'd be forgiven for not thinking the guy is worth half of a shit, but could be. You don't know. Like, was
Yeah.
it just the rest of the team dragging him down? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Blackman didn't play much for that Miami team, and we all know how good he was. So,
Yes, yes. The only the star player of the only game I've ever sat courtside for.
Side note, betting against Miami was so damn fun last year. I just did it every single game. God, are they bad? What was their defensive rating?
I mean,
Like,
by
did they rank
300
national?
plus.
I, what was their overall rating? That was
Out of 193rd.
It got
I
that
guess
good, huh? Because
I was
I
just
was
saying, it gets
legitimately
worse.
thinking, I was thinking for a second, I'm like, there was a point where I think they were worse than Seton Hall at one point.
They got to 205, and then they beat
Oh,
Notre.
maybe
Jeez.
not. Okay.
Correct answer was 339th, by the way. They did allow teams to shoot 39.7% from three against them. So
Yeah.
chase shooters off the line too
Well, I'm
well.
sure they at least packed the paint, right? That's,
No, they also ranked 339th in 2-point percentage
oh, wow.
and 358th in non-steal turnover percentage.
Hmm.
Other than that, they were pretty tough to score against.
Yep. Yeah, if you take those things out of the equation. All right. Any other thoughts on roster before we talk schedule?
I mean, just the overall is like I just think we're going to be very good defensively. I don't think we're going to defend anyone, and I think we're going to end up like right around where last year's team was.
Yep, I think that's certainly fair. And with that, it's a pretty decent schedule this year, I think. Maybe doesn't have the big home non-con game like we've had in the past couple of years. Like K-State is, it'll be fun because they're in the area. But early thoughts on the schedule, early thoughts on non-con.
Yeah, who do you think God will be rooting for in the Creighton, Kansas State game? We have
Um,
Catholic School versus Jerome Tang.
I must be missing something here.
He's just like very like he's a
the
god.
he was at Baylor for a reason.
Yeah.
I see.
All right, no, never mind. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Nope. Yep. Sorry, over my head. That's. I guess I'm
Um,
missing that.
yeah. I mean, I big fan of the Saturday games from a season ticket holder perspective. Gonna have a lot of fun ones that there. But otherwise, I don't know. I mean, like you said, we're missing the big home non-con. I mean, going to Gonzaga on a Tuesday for our second game. Don't love that, to be honest. Uh, game is, tip is at 9 o'clock Central, I think. That one's gonna be fun.
I almost went.
Oh, you're not going? Oh.
I no, well, because I'm coming to Omaha the 5th through the 10th of November,
Hmm.
and my plan was to fly from Omaha to Spokane on the 11th. And they're just so somebody thankfully gave me a little heads up, like, yeah, Gonzaga people don't resell tickets like ever. And I was looking, I'm like, oh yeah, you're kind of right. There are like 4 tickets available for this game.
It's
So
gonna
I
be like
didn't do it.
200 to get in or something.
Oh, higher than that, yeah,
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I haven't looked in a couple weeks. It might be more normal now, but yeah, it was not like I think it was an extra only like 10,000 airline miles for me and Mrs. Chim to go. So I kind of wanted to, but extending the Omaha trip made that a little harder too.
six. I think if you would have told me that that was, when you were talking about it a while back, if you would have told me that that was Veterans Day, you might have been able to rope me in. But if
Wait,
we're
you
gonna
get
have to,
Veterans Day off?
of course,
Really? Oh shit.
yeah.
You work for the government? You-
Yeah, the name is the name for a reason. No, we just
That's
work
true.
just
I didn't even think about that.
January 6th is the one.
just work for a company that supports the troops.
Yeah. No, I like it would have been cool, but I don't. It really wouldn't have been that expensive of a trip if the tickets weren't so brutal. I probably should have just done it anyways. Still time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's other than that, I don't know what else I really have to say about the schedule here.
I do want to address the elephant in the room that we're about to be three, or that Nebraska is about to take 3 of the last 4 against us.
Think we lose that game? I feel like we kind of run that building.
We do. I don't like this one.
Oh, I don't think Nebraska's that good.
I don't think they're that good either, but I think a team that's sitting right around 55 to 60 in Ken Palm is going to give us problems on the road.
Yeah, that's where they were 2 years ago.
It was well, they were higher than that 2
Yeah,
years
they
ago,
were
weren't they? That was like a somewhat big game at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't mean as much to me as it does to you guys. Like
Yeah.
that to me is it's like the inverse of the Cubs Brewers where like even anytime you say something and they're just like no rings and you're just like, yeah. And like if you just like say now tournament wins. Like he's kind of win it.
All the arguments get so tiring, and like I would be so happy to not care about it anymore. I just can't do it. I just need them to all go away from our reply sections for a year.
Yeah. I mean, I have much more physical reasons to care about that one than the reply guys on Twitter, of course, but I will be I don't know. Kind of glad that I don't have to go in person and watch that one this year. I mean, sitting in that building last year was fucking miserable.
Ugh. The
Dennis,
the
I
the
figured
worst experience I've ever had at a basketball game was that 22 game where we played them at home.
I have a worse experience, but
Yeah, yeah, you might. Oh, I mean, I was at the San Diego State game too, so I probably can't say that.
okay, yeah. As long as let's keep some perspective.
Yeah.
That was a better experience. I'll say that.
Was till it wasn't.
It was,
I
yeah, oh
mean,
my
Dennis
God.
and I rewatched those highlights a few weeks back and prep for a certain baseball game, but
I do
um,
that every now and then too, just to feel something.
My first time I watched it.
Yeah, well, all right, not to linger. Vegas, let's talk about a much more positive subject. Um, I don't like Baylor this year, and like we'll talk about that when we get to the national stuff. What?
Wrong, agree.
Yeah,
I don't think they make the tournament.
I have that too. Like in my I did like a little like preseason bracket, which is the dumbest fucking thing ever, but I did it anyways. Yeah, like I don't really get why people think they're going to be good this year. Like 17th in Ken Palm, I don't see that at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's still like some program and Drew baked in, but like I think they lost literally every player, right?
Yeah, there was a point in this offseason where they had no players on their roster.
Jesus Christ, I didn't remember that it was that bad.
Yeah, I mean Edgecombe was obviously
Edgecombs.
thought he was going to be gone. They never thought they would lose Wright,
No,
and
Yeah.
I think they do have. I think they have another good freshman coming in.
they
Well,
do.
they got, hold on, they got a couple names here. I might be able to convince you guys.
JJ White is not going to convince me.
What about Andre Iguodala the second?
Or he
Yeah,
can't
it's
be.
another freshman from like the Bahamas or something, right? Or
Tonde Yusufu.
okay,
That
maybe
sound
not the
right?
Bahamas, but no, it could
Six
be
five
actually.
freshman. It could
Yeah,
be. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, let's just say it. No one's fact checking this.
no, no, nobody's watching to
Oh
this point
yeah.
anyways. So
He's from Benin. Benin. I
been in,
don't know how you
yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
I don't actually either. I've probably
Yeah.
written it in a Sporkle quiz 8 million times, but never said it out loud. It's next to Togo. I know that much.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, so I don't get it with them. Uh, Bodo I think might actually start at center for them, and he's hurt all off season too. So I don't know. I don't really know what the upside is there.
Careful knocking a team because their starting center's been hurt all off season. Because I have significant
But
news for you.
yeah, I don't know. But anyway, all that to say, I would say that this is the year we'll finally go 2-0 in Vegas, but we'll lose to Iowa State just because we beat them in the scrimmage.
It's kind of weird we scrimmage them and then we play them so soon. Like I'm guessing it was a home and home thing last year, but that also
Now,
just feels like the type of team that in the past has given us a lot of issues.
well, we booked the scrimmage before the Players Era came out. We scrimmage Iowa
Yeah.
State every year, and we were just kind of hoping they wouldn't give us them in the Players Era. But they did the two Big 12 teams and the two Big East teams. So like St. John's also plays Baylor and Iowa State.
Okay.
Is what's Lipsy's injury status? I know he didn't play in the exhibition, but I
I
didn't
think they said
follow
he's
what
fine for opening
okay.
day. Yeah.
Okay.
Another's just kind of like perpetually hurt.
Yeah. I don't know. They don't have like a great team either. This is probably the year I'm lower on them than most people. Like Jefferson's good. Lipsy's good, but he didn't really do a lot of scoring last year, mostly because he didn't have to. But like Curtis Jones isn't there to bail you out this year. Momcilovic took a
Money.
step last year, but not maybe as much of one as like he kind of took like the what I'm expecting to get from Jackson step this year, where like, yeah, he's definitely better, but he also wasn't an All-American candidate.
So yeah, that's a pretty good comp body type wise too there.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I think the third game there is I'm a little worried about quad one opportunities this year. I'm gonna say it in conference play. I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you should have four against St. John's and UConn. Um, you should get like another two or three, I'd guess, on the road, probably three.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, seven,
Yeah, seven,
Yeah.
and you maybe win four of them. Like,
maybe.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe win four of them, right? So like,
Yeah,
if
maybe
you're
we
if
should
you're
have
looking
talked
at
about this earlier.
if you're looking at a ceiling of six quad one wins, that's not great. Like,
Not
it's not
ideal.
horrible, but it's not great.
No, I will say in our defense though, I feel like every year you forget how shitty the bubble is.
Oh
And then
yeah.
Xavier had one.
Well, I'm less concerned about it for the bubble than seeding. Like maybe I shouldn't be, but
I don't know.
So that's that what we're building up to, Mr. Dennis telling us that we're not going to make the tournament.
I think they're in the tournament, but like it just to me is like the ceiling just feels so low to me because I don't think we're gonna have an elite offense, and I don't think our defense is gonna be any good.
yeah,
Like,
I'm really banking on the whole college basketball will be down across the board this year thing.
oh, I
Like,
agree with that, but like, I don't know.
because that's carrying a lot of weight for for the like it's not saying a lot to say this team's going to finish third in the Big East because there just feels like such a fucking drop off. But I don't know, like any kind of expectations are dangerous either way. It feels like because I don't have any kind of idea what this team's ceiling looks like. Because, like you said, it would take an elite offense for this team to hit any sort of ceiling, and there are too many offensive question marks. I don't know.
I think the
You're
one game where we hit that offensive ceiling and we shoot 15 of 40 from three is going to be fucking electric, though. We're going to have at least one of those.
I feel like it comes against like UConn at home. Like I think we're gonna get one of UConn or St. John's where we win by double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my question. Like, of those two games, is it safe to say just 1 and 3 in those four and pencil that in for now?
I don't
Or
I don't
what?
know how we could make a strong case for anything else.
It feels like St. John's is overdue to get one in Omaha with how close they've been the last 2 years, and I think we're gonna have a very hard time going on the road and beating either of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening in MSG. Like, if they're doing anything like what they were doing last year, that ain't happening for us.
I think
Stores always seems to be weirdly comfortable for us, but I don't know. You never know.
I think old Zuby is going to be kind of a problem for our current roster here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if Freeman is ever guarding him one on one, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I meant to mention this earlier, but just Freeman moving around the other day. I know he's not in game shape or anything yet, but like he looked like he was in physical pain, just like running up and down the floor. Like if that doesn't look better in the middle of this season, I am gonna start really questioning that guy's health because it just looked painful. But yeah, he cannot guard Edge 4. That's not gonna happen.
Well, we should turn to our resident knee injury expert to discuss how we can expect him to look this season.
Yeah.
A lot about knee injuries. Um, I mean, I've been told from my sample size of one, the ACL meniscus tear, which is what he's dealing with, is about a 28-month recovery. So that's
But
been an injury, so I'd give him 14 months. Significant Big East news.
everyone got so mad at me because I that one video of him like running in practice where like he was visibly grimacing. And I think I tweeted like something like that doesn't look real good. There were people in my mentions like, oh, don't judge anything based on that. He's fine. He's just moving around. Like, all right, we're doing the full. We're doing Kool-Aid on injuries now too. That's fun.
Damn right.
All right. So non-con, what do we think? 8-3, 9-2, 10-1.
8-3.
Mm,
Let's see, loss.
yeah, I mean 8-3, 8-3
Yeah, let's go with
feels
that.
feels about right.
You drop at Gonzaga, one or two games in Vegas, and then maybe Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep,
I
that's
think losing anything else would be kind of a disaster. Actually, it wouldn't, not kind of a disaster. It would be a disaster.
it could be decent.
They could, but losing that one at home, headed into Big East play would feel really bad.
Then
Would
who's the Big East team we inexplicably lose at home to?
why the fuck do we play Utah Tech on December 22nd
Second.
after having for two Big East games?
Yeah, I'd love to know who scheduled that one.
I'll say we
Um,
I'll
Go
say
ahead.
split Marquette and we win there and lose at home.
Good take.
I agree.
That is a good take.
I think I got a weird feeling Villanova sweeps us this year.
I had that thought too.
Hmm. I think I was gonna pick them for our home loss, but a sweep feels
But we're at the Finn this year. We're not at Wells Fargo.
shit.
That's
I
that's
don't
the
know.
entire reason behind why I'm doing that.
Yeah, we got them at home on a Saturday though. Not
Those
gonna lose at
games,
home on a Saturday.
that's one of
Well,
my weird takes for this year, I think, is the Saturday home games sometimes aren't all they're cracked up to be. And I don't mean that because of crowd, but like the other team knows they're getting a big game too. Like I don't know if it's a mentality thing, but sometimes like the sneaky Tuesday night road games where you had to make a trip like on a weird time schedule, I think sometimes those have bigger home court advantages.
hold on. Let me look at my poster that got handed out the other day and see what time that game is. They've announced. It's a 1:30 tip. I don't like that as much.
Oh, I actually like that more.
Hmm.
Get that as early in the morning as you can. All right, so at Providence loss.
Hmm. What is that?
Yeah, I mean maybe. I mean
Is that
that flies right in the face of what you're talking about with the Saturday. I mean this is a Friday, but same deal.
Friday at the
Uh,
Amp does not sound great to me.
no.
Kim English could be fired by then too, so they could have a good, better
Yeah, I was
coach.
gonna say they might actually be good by then. If because I mean, like they're not the best roster I've ever seen, but if he can't get this team into the tournament, I don't think there's any way where he succeeds at Providence.
Jason Edwards wins my hypothetical college basketball dynasty sim transfer of the year. We're like, why is he there?
That's a fantastic question. You're gonna leave
I
Vandy to end up there.
One of the worst programming. Like, is he like from there or like?
I think I was listening to Big East Media Day. I think Kim said he recruited him out of high school, or Providence did.
Okay, that still makes no sense.
No, because I mean he's a guy. There are probably only five or six programs that wouldn't have taken him, right?
No, I feel like Edwards, in my eyes, is like up there for second best player in the conference. I don't think he will be under numbnuts. Like he's from Georgia. He decided like I want to go to Providence, Rhode Island, to a
rise
Smart,
in
you
the
know.
winter.
program in a worse conference for a worse coach.
Yeah, that's a real that's a real head scratcher.
Mm, what's the old Providence NIL situation looking like up there? Can't imagine they were able to.
It mustn't suck because like they are doing okay in recruiting.
Yeah.
They
Like
did
they
get
were,
the Sandaco too, which is big.
Oh, here, I got it. His favorite food is crab legs.
Yep.
all right, we're gonna start that narrative. He transferred there just for that.
Crab legs and seafood boil. It's on his player page.
Jeez.
Now, was it there at Vanderbilt too? Is the real question.
Vanderbilt, it's banana bread pudding.
God, Vanderbilt doesn't have fun. They don't have a fucking.
What part of Vanderbilt says fun to you?
I don't know, but I mean, they
I
don't have
mean,
anything about a.
Their
16-year-old Chim thought so, apparently.
Yeah, they don't have any like actual bio on him there. They just have where he was at before. That's lame.
All right, so we're saying 3 losses non-con. What are we saying? 6 losses conference?
We'll go through it.
All right,
Because
so
I think I had 14 and 6. And that's
Actually,
probably like if the over-under is probably set at 13 and a half. It just really feels like the losable games aren't as losable this year. Like I'm not nearly as scared about going to Cintas or to Hingle.
I have 14 and 6.
Mr. Eagle, Mr. One.
yeah,
All right. So we're coming
six,
around on
seven. Yeah, I mean that feels about right. I'm not gonna deviate one way or the other strongly.
so we're coming around on 22 and 9. You're probably looking at 6 or a 7 reasonably.
Yeah, I think like a 7
Uh,
fair,
yeah,
especially if the Big East is what I think it's going to be, which is bad.
In this world we've constructed, it's probably what, 5 quad 1s?
Um,
yeah, but we only play 30 games though, apparently. So unless Torvik has this wrong.
well, there's the Players Era Championship, which isn't
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, good point. Um, so yeah, five.
5 seems about right.
Yeah, that honestly, that game might be tremendously important in terms of seeding. Like a win or a loss over the right team in that game could move us like an entire seed line.
Who are the potential teams we could play?
Like Tennessee, Maryland, Bama,
Those
Houston,
those seem like bad matchups.
St. Joe's, Notre Dame, Rutgers. You want some of the lighter ones?
It's just all over the place, right?
Yeah,
Just
there's enough teams in it at this point where it's basically a lottery.
If you put a gun to my head and say, "How does the Players Era work?" I'd just say, "Shoot me," because I have
The
no.
coaches don't know either.
I
That's
mean, I'm
apparently
trying to
what
figure
Max
it out
says. They
right
don't know.
now.
Yeah.
And like how
Yeah.
But yeah, so like they don't really I don't think there's like an established format for this. I don't know what, like I said earlier, when we were doing our mini draft, like I have a weird feeling it's going to be Maryland in that spot.
Right. And yeah, as I just said to you guys, um, Maryland just beat UMBC by one in an exhibition game.
what was it, 47, 46?
It was 82 to 81.
Oh, Shaka Smart.
Whoa.
I mean, so UMBC might be kind of nasty this year.
Yep, that's the takeaway.
Uh, yeah.
That's definitely the takeaway.
I think Maryland had like four starters out or something, but also, last time I checked, UMBC is not an actual basketball program, except for the one day that they were. So Maryland might be in trouble.
Mm.
But continue on. Yeah, players era, who knows?
Yeah, so that puts us, I think, comfortably third in the Big East, unless anyone disagrees.
Nope.
No, I mean, if we don't finish third, here's a question. If I told you right now that we were guaranteed to not finish third, would you be excited or worried?
Worried.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, but it feels like we are pretty firmly locked into that spot unless something goes terribly wrong or terribly right.
And
I
I
think
like,
it could be decent, but I'm not
yeah,
but if somebody else was going to get it, I'd lean them, I think.
yeah, I think and that's more the way I would probably think about it too, is just someone else overachieved. Like I think we do have some kind of a floor just from the number of options we're like there's no world to me where we're not at least on the bubble, and that's where, fifth in the Big East gets you these days. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely worried if I have the choice between those two options. That it is to say though, like I'm not so convinced that UConn and St. John's are going to be elite teams. Like there's definitely a world where one of them just isn't that good. It's just a much smaller world than the world of somebody else taking the third spot from us.
Yeah.
What is not elite?
Not elite would mean not top 15.
Can't see it.
Really?
I'm very in on both. I think the coaching staffs of both are very good.
I mean, it's
And
a question of like, I don't think there are rosters out there that I think are great or anything like that either. And
I can't see either one not being very, very good. I just think
well,
St. John's defense is just going to be so good. Like their offense was 68th last year and they still finished 14th.
Slick Rick thinks their defense has sucked in practices so far. Didn't they just give up 96 to Michigan?
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not locked in. Their defense is going to be that great this year. Like their backcourt aren't guys who traditionally play a ton of defense.
I think for the most
Like you
part, it's locked
trust
in.
him to figure it out.
I think for the most part, it's locked in.
I don't know. I mean, the one for me, like St. John's, Patino's, they're gonna be. If they're not a top 15 team, something has gone horribly wrong. I think the path is clearer for UConn, um, just because of how bad their defense was last year, and I'm not totally convinced it's getting a ton better. Like in theory, your best defender is Demery, your best like new defender, and he's supposed to be an upgrade defensively over Diarra. Like I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know enough about their individual defensive personnel. I just more trust the coaching staff in general.
And I get that. I just mean like if you told me they had another like early season last year like they did in Maui where they just suck for a couple of games, I could see it. Like Ball doesn't play a ton of defense. Mullins is basically just another McNeely that might not have as high of an offensive ceiling. Caravan doesn't play any defense unless he's in the right matchup. Reed does, but he's hurt and is only going to play 20 to 25 minutes anyways because that's how Hurley does it.
And he'll just foul himself out.
Right, like and what, like Rive behind him isn't going to play a ton of defense. Their wing depth is Jalen Stewart and Jaden Ross, who are waiting on like their 18th breakout seasons that haven't happened yet. They got the point guard from Dayton is like their backup point guard. I don't know who their other backup guard is. Like they don't have a ton of depth. They're one injury, like a solo ball injury away from being in a really tough spot, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I just think Demery is such a good fit. I think the guards are going to be good enough, and I think the staff probably learned a lot from their first down year in a while.
I mean,
Um,
I think so. Like, if you force me to bet, are they going to finish above or below 12 and a half? I'm going with the better side of it. But like, I don't think it's necessarily a guarantee. Like, you look at the change from last year. Yeah, Demery is a huge upgrade on Diarra in terms of production on both ends of the floor. Ball should be a little bit better than he was last year. Caravan, I think, is just Caravan at this point. I don't think it's changing much. Their center rotation should be a little better offensively, a little worse defensively. Now that Samson Johnson's gone, he didn't do a whole lot besides defend. And then what? You need Mullins to be 75% as good as McNeely for this team to you know, hit its expectation. I'm not convinced that's going to happen.
yeah, I don't know. To me, it just yeah.
I think it is everybody just kind of making that assumption, and not that it's necessarily a wrong one. Like I said, I'm probably would still bet on it to be correct. I think there is a smaller gap between our roster construction and theirs than most people are giving it credit for. I just feel like at during the whole offseason, it was like, yeah, Creighton's right there with St. John's and UConn. And then it just like slowly petered away from that as the offseason went on. Like all we were like, 12th and 14th in people's rankings, and it just kept getting lower and lower. And now people aren't ranking us. I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. There just aren't a ton of strong rosters out there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fair point. Like I said, I'm just so low on the defense. And I don't know. I do think Demery is really good. I think he's kind of the perfect fit for him. Um, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hate playing him for 2 years. Like hate that. Like I hate that he went there. That's the second year in a row. Like one of my favorite transfers went there. It didn't work out last year for Mahaney, but this one's fucking brutal.
No.
So I mean, we'll touch on the rest of the Big East. Like Providence and Marquette are in theory the next two up. I mean, I don't even have to say it, but go ahead and tell me why Providence isn't going to hit its ceiling.
Kim English fucking sucks. He is the biggest fucking like he was cool and watching them slowly realize they have the wrong guy last year was just incredible because you slowly saw like less people fighting with you to everyone starting to agree with you. Yeah, he's just not like he's never done anything. Like that team quit on him last year. Like I know they were injured, but like for this defensive mastermind, Kim English, like you finished outside the top 100. You lost your final six games, including you were 11 and 10 going into February. You finished 12 and 20. Like that team just quit. They're like, I don't know, not a good coach in my mind. Um, I like Edwards a lot. Like I'm angry he's there. And with the exception like 4 straight years in a row, he's underperformed his preseason rank. Or sorry, 3 straight years. Um, he's below average in conference play in his coaching, or is below 500 in conference play for his coaching career. I just don't think they have the right guy there.
No, I mean, you give me a different coach, and I'd tell you I really like this roster. Um, they have some options. Like Mila looked pretty good last year, and in theory, he should be coming off the bench for this team. Sellers if he's healthy again, he had a pretty good 2024. Like that's a high upside guy. Daquan Davis had a good freshman year at FSU. Oswin looks like a guy who could definitely take a second year jump. They're gonna fucking start Corey Floyd, which is the dumbest shit since UConn played him in their rotation. He's just not a good basketball player. But like, yeah, if you tell me, trying to think like the most average coach out there, like not fair to say this about like Mike White, but if you told me he was coaching this team, I'm calling them like a 9 or 10 seed.
Yeah, probably. Um,
Is Mike White the guy that I'm thinking of? That
he's
he's
Georgia by way of
Georgia.
Florida.
Georgia? Okay, yeah. That John would have told you that Dennis would have told you last year was terrible.
I mean, okay, he had a top 10 pick and he got a 9 seed and lost by 1,000. Hang the fucking man. That's his first year ever. He has outperformed his preseason rank.
All
Or
right,
sorry, since
maybe I
or
picked the wrong
since
guy then.
what?
So maybe I picked the wrong guy then.
I
No,
just figured Mr.
sorry, since
Dennis has an opinion
since
on this guy.
2018. Yeah, no, whatever.
All right, now tell me, I'll go the opposite for Marquette. Tell me why Marquette could work.
Because they've been built on continuity, they're in his system, and Shaka's shown to have an extremely high floor. Um, despite the fact, or a relatively high floor, I guess I should say. Like, despite my also well documented thoughts on him. Like in theory, that 2022 Marquette team shouldn't have been very good. They were like the team that won the Big East was 76th preseason. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, for me, like the roster isn't good. Like it just isn't. And
Can we talk about that? What is he doing? What is the plan? How do you win games in this era of college basketball if you're not going to bring in transfers?
he is he is literally the only way we will find
I mean,
out. We,
Yeah. I mean, we're going to start thinking that ACL recovery is 28 months and yeah, fucking Shaka Smart is the only guy that can win games with no transfers, and it's just going to work.
well,
Yeah, I
and
don't.
it's kind of such bullshit too. Like Kolek was a transfer. Like, what do you mean you don't? You do bring in
Yeah,
transfers. You just,
yeah.
and there's no way that Marquette doesn't have at least some money to do it with. So this really is like him just taking a stand and being like, ah, nah, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it this way. See if it works.
But like, you gonna tell me that Chase Ross and Ben Gold are your one and two options?
I don't mind Ross.
It's
yeah,
like
I think Ross is fine. And like
he's not a
and
bad
Zay
player, but
Lowry put up good numbers on low usage, like was very efficient. Like Norman did some okay things, like decent as a defender. Like Parham, same. Like there's a lot of guy or a handful of guys like you can squint at and say like they put up decent efficiency on low usage. But like we talked about with McAndrew, like you can't necessarily just say like since they had a 115 O rating on, 10% possessions that they're going to have the 115 on 18.
No, and like I'm looking at like a guy like Royce Parham. I'm like, all right, what is his ceiling? David Joplin? All right, you still need your Kolek and Iguodaro if this team is going to be any good, and I don't think you got him on the roster. Zayd Lowry, like, all right, what's your ceiling? Like Daryl Morcell? Okay, that's not getting you anywhere. Sean Jones is coming back. My God, the guy who averaged 6 points a game 2 years
He
ago.
blew his
Like,
knee out in January of 24, so he's got another year before he's back. But
yeah, well, I like whatever. Like, I
yeah,
I had the fucking like Marquette guy. I forget his name, but he used to be in my mentions all the time. Like, dude, Sean Jones is coming back. You don't even know this team's got returning talent. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, he's not a terrible defender, but he played 18 minutes a game and he shot 25% from three. Like, I'm sorry, this is not a guy and this is not a lineup I'm gonna be scared about.
and he's a
I like,
5'10" guard whose game was built entirely on lateral quickness coming off a major knee injury.
yeah, I'm sure that'll work out. I'm positive that will work out actually.
Yeah, he could be fine, but like,
Yeah, him being fine though is what? Like that, that's what I mean. Like even some of these guys hitting their 75% ceilings doesn't make this a good basketball team.
would you like to guess what percentile in on-off Demarius Owens ranked last year?
Well, I'm looking at his 96 O rating. I mean, they said they liked it. I don't know. Honestly, if you
The
would have asked
first
me, I would have said middle
percentile.
of the pack. First, yeah, first. Okay. Well, Shaka said he
Those who
really
don't have
liked him this
stats, sorry,
offseason.
that's bad.
Yeah.
can you explain for the people at home what on-off percentile actually means?
Yeah, more or less like looking at a possession rate of like if you like say in a game that somehow has 200 possessions, like you outscore them at like 10 points per possession or 10
Hmm.
points per 100 on and you get outscored by 10 when you're off, like they're 20 points better on with you.
Okay, so it's kind of it's a comparative
Yes.
um, plus minus type of deal. Okay.
Well, all right. I mean, let's do some comparisons then. Like Trey Norman, they're expecting him to be a big piece this year. So if I read off, Demarius Owens' stat line, and I said he played 21 minutes a game, I say he had a point 0.3 PRPG. I say he has a 96 O rating. I say he made 32 threes, shot 34% on them. Like, all right, that doesn't sound great. And then what if I told you Trey Norman played the same minutes a game, made the same number of threes on 19% shooting, had a negative PRPG and an 85 O rating? Like these are the guys they're counting on next season.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
don't know. The only thing
Eagle
that I
one. When
know
did
is that
Shohei homer?
like I was about to cut in with that piece.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay. So I'm not that far behind.
No, he's
Okay.
The first pitch to Mookie just happened, but yeah, no, he's actually a god. I don't think we should be talking about basketball. We should probably just talk about Shohei Ohtani for
How he should be in
like
jail.
a couple hours.
How whenever there's an attractive woman around, he's fluent in English.
Yeah, that's spooky.
Hmm. Hmm.
Manfred would be held accountable. Like he would be held negligent if he wasn't full David Sterning everything for him, right? Like you are covering up anything that even pops up around him, or else you are not doing your job properly.
Yeah,
Yep.
and taking notes from old Adam Silver at the moment.
I hope not. David Stern did a much better job of it than Silver.
Shohei's playing
Yeah.
basketball next year.
Yeah, they're gonna switch his sport for 1 year. Uh,
Uh, but yeah, no, Marquette. Not, I don't like this roster. Not a
I
fan of
think
what's
like
going on right there.
and we didn't even talk about Ben Gold. Like we did all this, we didn't even talk about Ben Gold.
Jaundice survivor Ben Gold.
I just I like I just don't get it with him, and I never will. Even if he shoots 37% on 100, he made 143 threes last year, which is kind of crazy.
He
Um,
took
Is he Isaac Trout
144.
with higher usage?
He took 143 threes.
oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You're right.
That makes a lot more sense.
Made
My notes are very scrambled here.
He also shot 33 free throws all year.
Yeah, that's a center if I've ever heard of one. I just like for this team to hit anything for this team to make the tournament and not be just anemic offensively. Chase Ross basically needs to turn into Cam Jones. Sean Jones needs to not suck. Zay Lowry needs to be like an actual wing, and that's not really his game either. One of Parham or Owens needs to be good. One of the freshmen needs to be good and playable right away. And Gold needs to somehow have as successful of a year as he did last year, where he had 7.5 points a game.
I think you're a little harsh on that.
I'm picking them to make the tournament just because I think Shaka will. But that's how many things have to go right for them when you build your roster like this.
I feel like you don't think Chase Ross is going to be Cam Jones.
No, but if you told me he scores 14 and a half a game, I say, yeah, sure.
I think if you like wanted me to find you a team that I think this mirrors, like doing the Creighton experiment, I honestly think it's like somewhere between the last two San Diego State teams. Or like last year's team ranked 113th in offense, 16th in defense. Team before that was 62nd in offense, 11th in defense. Like I would guess like they're almost like the inverse Creighton. Like I would guess like 80th in defense, like or 80th in offense, like 14th in defense.
I mean,
And like
well, that's basically the same because Torvik has him 53rd with the 71st offense and the 32nd defense. So if you spread that out to like 80th offense and 15th defense, that gets him down to what, like 47th?
yeah, something like that. I'll buy the defense more than 32nd.
Yeah, so will I. But I mean, like even with that, unless the offense also improves a little bit, they're not going to be coming out of like the mid 40s.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean yeah, I think they're like low 40s, high 30s.
All right. I mean, then we're probably not that far away because, like I said, I have them as like a bubble team leaning in, if anything.
Okay. Yeah.
The rest of the conference, I mean, we can just touch on some of these
No.
teams because like Georgetown again, it's like, hey, it's not a terrible roster. It would have looked a lot better if Sorber came back, but like, yeah, they'll be like 70th to 85th in Ken Palm probably.
Georgetown's the number one team that like I don't know what they have or what they don't have. Like, do they have money or do they just have nothing?
The school has money. I don't know if that means the basketball program
Yeah.
has any.
I mean, it's just such a I always make the hypothetical of like we should just like remove a team and see if anyone notices. Like if Georgetown didn't play basketball this year, no one would notice.
No, their fans wouldn't
Their
either.
fans wouldn't notice. Yeah. The 10 season ticket holders would maybe be a little confused, but probably just assume it's part of the shutdown.
Yeah, I mean, like, because they get like KJ Lewis is a pretty good complementary player, but they're going to need him to be a star. Malik Mack looked okay last year, pretty good. Um, Langston Love again, like complimentary player, but they're going to need more out of him.
And he'll
There's a
be
he,
hurt.
yeah, and he'll be hurt the whole year. There's a center hole on this team where Sorber was supposed to be. They're starting Iwachukwu, and like, okay, he looked fine under Patino for 3 minutes a game, but I don't think he's going to do anything there. Xavier at least has some fun players on their team.
Oh, I think Xavier sucks.
Oh, they no, they do. I'm just saying, like at least there's some interesting stuff here. Like all right, all right,
Sure. Yeah,
Is,
yeah,
is that a
sure.
name or a
all right.
adjective?
Yeah.
That's that's a name. Yeah, they have all right from Valpo.
The guy
Yeah.
who is at Northwestern State.
Valpo.
That's a different all right.
They have all no, that's always right.
No, that was the joke of the guy who had one arm. But
Oh, oh, jeez. Uh, yeah, like so he was a 16 point a game guy last year in a terrible conference. Like they got a couple of those. 13 points at North Dakota, 13 points at Montana, 11 or 15 points at Evansville. There you go.
There you go.
I think this team sucks.
Oh, they're terrible, but at least it'll be a fun kind of terrible. They're counting on like Roddy Anderson to be their guy who was objectively terrible at Boise.
Yeah. And these are
Like
just not a lot of great programs that they drew guys. Like this team's like I don't want to talk about this team anymore. They
I
suck.
do like honestly, like Xavier fans, if you saw Xavier fans on Twitter, they're like, "Oh yeah, Roddy Anderson." Like he played 66% of the minutes at Boise his whatever that was sophomore year in 2024. He had an 86 O rating.
You want to hear something crazy like about Xavier? I think this is the worst team in the Ken Palm era in Xavier history.
Probably,
The
yeah.
previous worst finish is 81, which is crazy. They're one of like six programs that never finish outside the top 100.
That's
Yeah,
After
that
insane.
I mean
history,
that
yeah.
checks out.
But like that's so long. That's like
That's
28 years at like not a great program. Like their program rank is 39th. I think this is the worst team in Xavier history. Or
I
Ken
don't
Palm history, which is all I care about.
I don't think anyone's gonna argue with you.
Sounds
Uh
like Xavier fans might.
yeah. Nova probably won't suck as bad as all the other teams with bad rosters.
They'll be fine. I
Like
think they're going to be like the 16 and 14, like two seed in the crown type of team.
mhm.
I don't think Devin Askew's going to hit his stride at his fifth school here.
No, I would genuinely rather just play four guys.
What do you mean? He had like 20 points a game last year.
The
Doesn't that
bigger,
mean he's
yeah,
good?
I bet they were great.
The funny thing, like his efficiency numbers were actually decent last year.
Yeah.
I
Where
don't
was
know.
it? Long Beach?
Yeah, Long Beach.
Yeah. This 101 O rating.
Yeah,
Yeah, 101 O rating on a team that was 309th in the country.
yeah. There you go.
Stinking
Like I said,
rats.
he was the diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Bryce Lindsey, I kind of like him. He was a guy I wouldn't have been upset if we took a run at. 41% on 200 attempts, 125 O rating. I think he was a little banged up. I don't know if he's going to start the year. Uh, Tyler Perkins, if he doesn't suck this year, maybe this will be a decent team. But he was just the most like subpar, mediocre Big East player last year. They like Hodge a little bit. He was blackballed by the NCAA last year or something. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. And then Brennan will probably be their starting big man this year. He was pretty good at GCU last year. So I don't know. They got some stuff there.
Want to talk about Seton Hall? They suck. Ready to move on?
Yep. Seton Hall, Won't be as bad as last year because they have one player who could actually probably play in this conference. So that's nice for them. Maybe they'll finish
Them
two.
out.
Maybe they'll finish 2/10 next year.
Like they don't even try.
No, it's embarrassing. Like if we want to really have this out with them, I'm furious at the Big East at the way at some of these teams. Like
Big East. Yeah, they just don't even try.
like because you could say like, all right, DePaul is doing something, right? At least they got a new coach. They probably had to pay for quite a bit. They're trying. Butler, I don't know why Thad can't get it out of first gear there, but at
I
least you
don't.
can kind of say they're trying. Not
Oh,
well
I don't
enough.
think he's trying.
Seton Hall is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, like yeah, there's just no effort. Like they're clear so clearly have no money. I think Holloway is an okay coach. Like that still doesn't really excuse how bad you were on offense last year. But
I might push back on that one a little. I know it was kind of our joke of last year's preseason podcast that they were calling him a second tier Big East coach.
he ranked 315th in offense.
Yeah,
Like
That's
that's I know you
that's
didn't
tough to
have
do.
money. You cannot rank 315th in offense as a Big East coach.
no, and you can say they have no money to recruit, and that might be true. They might literally not have a single dollar. You are still responsible for putting a better product on the floor than that.
Yeah, like
You can't find five kids from the Ionas, the whatevers around you that would just want to play Big East basketball and aren't getting contracts better that are better than what you had last year.
you
I
rank
refuse to believe that.
in offensive efficiency.
Yeah, coaches are just as responsible for who they bring in as the style they play, as everything like that too. So I don't give any sympathy for people saying like, oh, he had a bad roster. Like, all right, whose fucking fault is that? It's one thing to say he didn't have the money to compete for a tournament bid. It's another thing to say he didn't have the money to compete with Merrimack.
You had a worse offense than Air Force.
Yeah,
There's
so
some that's like I mean, like you're saying, yeah, like that's where you draw the line. Like if you were like 150th or something, then like okay, fine. Like you have no money, but like that's
yeah, there's a difference between being like Boston College, Georgia Tech bad, which is also terrible. Like I probably a better example. Like there's a difference between being Butler bad and being Seton Hall bad.
yeah, and I even think like Boston College isn't a bad example of what you're getting at.
Well, what were they last year? Like 120th or something like that?
Oh,
Like
maybe. All right, they're bad. So
was it
they're
way worse than that? I thought I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I
I
think
thought
they
they were
were really
scrappier. They were not.
bad. Yeah. But I even mean to say like the worst team in some of these conferences, and then there's Seton Hall, right? Like and then there's this absolute travesty. There is no way any of the kids on this roster are getting money. So
So
there are no way there 270 teams worth of D1 players aren't getting more money than they could get at Seton Hall, and you can't put something better than the 300th best team in the country out on the floor. It's a disgrace.
yeah,
Maybe they should start blaming their fans. People of East Orange need to get behind them more. Start donating. Open fundraiser, maybe a GoFundMe.
And why isn't Eagle 2 going to those games?
Yeah, that's a good question. I imagine he'll be there for the our little trip up there, but can't imagine there's any other reason to go into that building.
No. But yeah, hey, anyways, they might be like 220 something in Ken Palm this year. Bud Clark actually is a competent basketball player. So hey, you got one down, 7 or 8 more to go. Let's do the DePaul bit. I'll cede the floor to Mr. Dennis. Go ahead.
the Pulse sucks. They've never done anything. Like why we do this like every 3 years, and to be fair, I did it like for one of them. You have to finish above 10th for me to care about you at all. Like their preseason 78, like I'll just take the under. Like I don't think Holtman's a bad coach as I alluded to earlier. Like they haven't finished that high since 2007. You were 4-16 last year. Like I get you had injuries. You're not even the mid-major all-stars. You're just some okay, like some solid mid-major players. And again, I understand you ended the season like playing decent basketball. Like you're probably very lucky, or Creighton's very lucky it didn't end up in a loss, but like I'm just not giving you any credit.
Well,
And like,
don't you know that they're bringing back Layden Blocker, CJ Gunn, and NJ Benson? Don't you know that?
well, and like looking at their, I assume one of these is an MT, but like looking at your non-con, Chicago State, Stonehill, Buffalo, Northwestern, Gardner-Webb, Detroit, Georgia Tech, Pine Bluff, Morgan State, Wichita State. Like
Murderers Row.
we're gonna do the same fucking thing where like they probably are gonna beat Northwestern at home and they're gonna be like 10-0 and we're like, oh, ranked DePaul. It's like shut the fuck up.
They're gonna be the fourth power ranked team in the Big East again.
Yeah, yeah, Holtman will be on tier two. It'll be Patino, Hurley, Holt, McDermott, Stockton.
Hey, they closed their doors for the season. They're not doing that
Yeah,
podcast this
fucking
season.
shame. Maybe we're gonna get their viewers once they figure out how to press the on button of the iPhone. Their
I
parents
just
haven't locked them out of their tablet yet. Maybe they can have some leftover screen time to pay attention to this.
there's a guy going around on Big East Twitter right now. I'm pretty sure he's usually like a pretty cool, like pretty nice guy, pretty good at just bantering most of the time, who is trying to earnestly convince everyone that Blocker, Gunn, and Benson are the best returning Big Three in the Big East.
They're not even the best returning duo if you gave me three of them.
No, like I, it's just one of those things where you have taught me to stop feeling bad for them because it can't be a charity case. Holtman is getting them to respectable. They're
Oh,
not
no.
there yet. They're not there yet. Um, like you
One
say,
cram today, DePaul. Good job.
yeah.
You made it till third hour before eating your Elmer's glue stick.
I said it on the draft we had earlier too. I'm like, I'm not going to be excited by Layden Blocker and CJ Gunn returning. You literally had Max Strus and Paul Reed come back one year, and you still finished, I think, 10th or 11th in the conference. Like for sure, 10th or 11th. It might have been 11th. So you're getting no credit from me whatsoever. The only reason they might not finish 10th this year is because the conference is so fucking bad.
Because they're
And
trying more than zero,
yeah,
which is a bigger number than zero, which is what about half the conference is doing.
yeah. So, anyways, that's the Big East at large. It really like it's four bids max. Is that unreasonable to say?
There's a, I
Rule
think there's a
five, isn't
one
there?
world
Maybe, right?
Providence. It's a five bid in Providence gets in.
Yeah.
You think that Providence and Marquette can both get in?
Yeah, if things break right.
All right.
If
Well,
you, that's like my absolute ceiling of like both would have to get two of UConn and St. John's. You got to do well in the non-con. Like if Providence can get Wisconsin on a neutral or something like that, win your home games. I don't know. I think it could happen.
no. All right. Well, give me the order on one and two in the Big East then.
St. John's, UConn.
Mm, Yeah. Fuck it. I'll buy into the St. John's exhibition struggles. So give me UConn
All
one,
right.
St. John's two.
We all agreed on Creighton three. Let's go four, five, and six.
Uh, Marquette, Providence, Villanova.
Mm, yeah, give me Marquette four, Providence five, Nova six.
Yep. I had St. John's, UConn, Creighton, I have Providence and Marquette both with 12 wins, so count them the same. Nova 10 and 10. And then I don't care about ranking the rest of them. I do not care because you could honestly, I think you could tell me that any of these teams except Seton Hall pop up in seventh, and I'd go like, yeah, maybe. Where they have 6 wins in the conference, yeah, sure, why not?
I
I would
mean, they're
put
separated by a
Georgetown in
whole
the
nine
tier of four,
spots, huh?
five, six. I would do if I was tiering this, it'd be St. John's, UConn one, Creighton three, Marquette, Providence four, Villanova, Georgetown five, everyone except Seton Hall six, Seton Hall seven.
Yeah, I mean, I could get there with Georgetown. Like they're probably who I would punch into seventh.
I think they're closer to like Vill. I think they're closer to four, five, six than they are eight, nine, 10.
Sure, sure. Well, let's do this quick. Coach of the year,
Guess it has to be Patino if I'm picking him to win
Yeah, I know. Roll up and say Hurley.
player of the year. I had Patino also. Player of the year.
it.
Who's the who's the betting favorite? I don't.
It's Zuby's project.
Zuby. Yeah,
I mean, I'm taking Zuby in a runaway.
yeah. I don't.
Probably would take him. I love Jason Edwards. Fuck it. Plant my flag. Providence gets in Jason Edwards player of the year.
All right.
Oh, the
Bad,
electric.
it's a bad take.
Uh,
Unplanting my flag.
so my
Oh,
next one was transfer of the year, and that was my pick for that.
Blake Harper. Jason Edwards.
I mean, probably Demery, right?
Could be for sure. Uh, I don't know. Defensive player of the year is just going to be Zuby, right?
I'm gonna make it a Calc Legacy Award. Give it to him again. For the heck of it, nobody
You
deserves
can
it
do so
anymore.
retroactively.
Yeah.
I had Mullins for freshman of the year.
Sure.
I'm not gonna tell you I have a strong opinion on freshman of the year.
Be lying if I said I did.
Yeah, I mean it's disappointing the state of the Big East, to say the least. But any closing thoughts on that before we move on to national?
No, just that you can't get offended anymore if people say the Big East is a mid-major conference and you're closer to a better version of the WCC than you are the Big 12, SEC, Big 10.
Harsh but
Yeah, I
fair.
don't do
I
not
think it's
have
very
anything
good
to
though.
add, but that's a fair take.
Oh,
You
I
have
think we're temporarily still ranked ahead of the ACC on the conference rankings, but I
the
don't think
ACC
that's
This
did great work I mean, mainly just Will Wade, but like,
yeah,
honestly,
Virginia.
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I knew there was at least one more. Virginia and NC State. I mean,
Yeah,
what
they
coaching?
raised the profile of their conference this offseason, and we did not.
No.